In this video, we're going to take a look at completing the square. So we're tasked with completing the square for the expression x squared plus 6x. And what we're going to do is we're going to add onto the end of it the right number so that this becomes a perfect square trinomial. Our first step is going to be to take 6, the middle term, the b term, and divide it by 2. So we're going to have 6 divided by 2, that's 3. Now, we're going to take 3 and we're going to square it. That's 9. That's what we want to add onto the end of this binomial. And now we have x squared plus 6x plus 9. That's a perfect square. As a matter of fact, this is equal to, what was 6 divided by 2? 3. And what was 3, what's the square root of 9? 3. X plus 3 squared. That's our perfect square. And we can check it just by foiling it out. X plus 3 times x plus 3, x times x is x squared, and then plus 3x plus 3x plus 3 times 3, 9. X squared plus 6x plus 9. Great. And this right here is why we divide by 2, is because there's 2 terms. Let's take a look at an exercise from the homework, and let's walk through doing that. Let's do, not this one. Let's do this one. Here we go. Determine the constant that should be added to the binomial so that it becomes a perfect square trinomial. Then, write and factor the trinomial. We have x squared minus 13x. Okay, so let's go back over here and let's take a look at x squared minus 13x. Well, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to take 13, negative 13, we're going to divide it by 2, negative 13 over 2, I guess. And then I guess we're going to take negative 13 divided by 2 and we're going to square it. Let's see here, so that's 169 divided by 4. I guess that's what we're going to add to both sides. So we'd have x squared minus 13x, both sides, listen to me, I'm already starting to solve these things, plus 169 divided by 4, that's going to be x minus 13 over 2 quantity squared. That's how that would factor out. Let's flip back over to the Pearson homework and see if that's correct. Okay, so what's the constant? And we need to type an integer or a fraction. It was 169 divided by 4. That's what we needed to add. Alright, now what's our trinomial going to be? X squared minus 13x plus 169 divided by 4. Alright. And now we're going to factor the result. So that's going to be the quantity x minus, it was 13 divided by 2, right? And this whole quantity is going to get squared. That's our factorization. Alright, one successful question down. Great. Now I mentioned solving by completing the square, and let's do that with this quadratic. X squared plus 8x equals negative 15. So we'll hop back over to our little fake whiteboard, and we're doing, what was it, x squared x squared plus 8x minus 15, plus 8 minus 15. X squared plus 8x equals a negative 15. So I'm just going to be working with this plus 8 for now. 8 divided by 2 gives me 4. 4 squared is 16. So I'm going to take and I'm going to add 16 over here. And I'm going to add 16 over there too. So we'll have x squared plus 8x plus 16 is equal to negative 15 plus 16. Okay, now this right here is a perfect square, and this is going to become 4, right? So plus 4. X plus 4 squared, because 4 squared is 16. 4 times 2 is 8. And then it's going to be equal to negative 15 plus 16. That's 1. Great. Now we take the square root of both sides. So the square root of the quantity x plus 4 quantity squared, and it's going to be equal to plus or minus the square root of the quantity 1. So x plus 4 is equal to plus or minus 1. X is equal to plus or minus 1 minus 4. Plus 1 minus 4 is a negative 3. Minus 1 minus 4 is a negative 5. So x is equal to the set negative 3, negative 5. Great. Let's go back over to our homework. What's our solution set? We determined it was negative 3, negative 5. Fantastic. And I will see you next video.